Today is all about business and gene keys, money, gene keys, going through the pearl sequence, specifically my pearl sequence. I'm really going to break this down in a way that I hope will be helpful, in a way that I hope that everyone will be able to understand, in a way that I hope you'll be able to look at your pearl sequence and say, okay, what the hell am I supposed to be doing? Okay, so hello. If you are new to my channel, my name is Ebony. I'm a human design reader expert and coach. So before we dive into the pearl sequence, which we are going to do, I want to talk about business for a little bit because, and I'm not, judging anyone for this, but I think y'all are making it more complicated than it needs to be in this specific respect. So all having a business is, it is a value exchange, right? I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can, but it is a value exchange. You are exchanging some kind of value. You're exchanging it for money. People give you their money for your value, whatever that is. Now, it's really, I should stand over here. Yeah. It's important to understand there is no such thing as no value, right? Because we're all doing different things. We all need different things in order to survive and, be wealthy and all these things. So to say that you have no value to give, you have no way to make money, you are saying that you are worthless, that you are valueless. You have nothing to provide in exchange for money. No one is going to pay you for anything that you possess. And I'm calling bullshit on that. I am. We all have value. We all have something that we can share. We all have something that people can pay us for, right? Because me standing up here talking about human design and healing your inner child and manifestation, there are people who will look at me and say I'm a scammer, right? I'm scamming people out of their money. I'm talking about shit that doesn't exist, right? There's no scientific backing. There's no evidence for this, right? To people who do not believe in this, I have no value. My channel has no value. I'm up here flapping my gums for no reason, right? But to people who believe in this system, who have studied this system, who want to understand this system, who want to understand themselves, I have value. And people pay me for it. Like when I tell you, this is my business, this is what I do, people actually pay me to do this, and this is all I do, I'm being very honest, because they do. This is my job, right? So if your value, let's say that you're a turtle farmer, right? Someone could look at you being a turtle farmer and say, there's no value in that. What? But I saw a TikTok video of a girl who bought a turtle off the side of the road, and then like 2 weeks later, he ended up dying because she didn't know how to take care of him. Do you think that you would have value if as a turtle farmer, you were teaching people how to take care of their turtles? Do you think someone would pay you to teach them how to take care of their turtles if it meant their turtle wouldn't die 2 weeks after they get them? Don't you think that would be a value to someone? Yes. Anything that you have is going to be of value to someone. Okay? So I'm starting with this for a few reasons. Well, number one, you're not worthless, right? You all have value. Every person watching this video has some kind of value that someone will pay you for, right? Number two, business is not complicated. When you discover your value, you showcase it in a public way so that people know, hey, this is the person that I need to go to pay so they can teach me how to do whatever it is, right? Okay, that is business. Value exchange, that's it, okay? So now that we've gone through that, now we're going to go through the pearl sequence. The pearl sequence is essentially how you create prosperity. The service that you are here to be of in order to create prosperity. Now, the difference between wealth and prosperity, it's subtle, but it's there. So remember how we talked about in my previous video, which if you haven't watched that Understanding Gene Keys video, please go watch that first because I will not be explaining again what I explained in that video in this one. So please go watch it if you haven't, because I'm telling you, I'll leave you behind. I will. So wealth, right? Because when we think of money, we think of wealth, right? Like that's what we all want. We got wealth, right? Wealth is here. It's that, remember we talked about journey versus destination? Wealth is destination. It's stagnant. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just wealth, almost like hoarding it. Like you are hoarding money. You're wealthy, but it's not going anywhere. The money isn't going anywhere, right? So prosperity, or T, is shit. Why do I always do that? It's this. Prosperity is the movement and circulation of money. That is prosperity. When you have wealth, and not only do you spread it to other people, but then it comes back to you. It's coming in and it's going out. That is prosperity. It is the circulation of wealth. It's not wealth itself, right? So there's wealth and then there's prosperity. So Gene Keys, the Pearl sequence, is specifically about prosperity, being of service and generating prosperity, where it's coming in and it's going out. It's a flow, right? Like a river. So hopefully my markers don't crap out on me. So let's start at the very beginning, which is your vocation. Okay? Now your vocation is what you are here to do. This is the service. Okay? Now, for me specifically, my vocation is in gate 7. Okay? The shadow of gate 7 is division. This is division, this is internal division, right? So this is my division from my ability to guide others, my internal guidance that allows me to be a leader, because that's what gate 7 is. Gate 7 is the gate of leadership, right? It's the gate of self and interaction, and it's in the G center. So when I'm talking about leadership, when I'm talking about gate 7 specifically, it's not leadership as in telling people what to do. That's gate 31. Gate 31 is leadership through voice. Gate 7 is leadership through identity, because gate 7's in the G center. Remember, G center, identity. Yeah? This is leading by example. So what I am here to do is lead people by example, right? And I move through the different frequencies: shadow, gift, city. So the gift of gate 7 is guidance, being a guide. The city is virtue, being virtuous in my leadership, leading for the betterment of the people who are following me, right? Now, a lot of people will say, okay, well, this is my gate. I don't understand how that applies to business. Okay, so now that you know what you are here to do, now it's time for you to find the area you are meant to do it in. That's where I think a lot of you are getting caught up. You're focusing so much on the gate that you're forgetting that there is something that it needs to be applied to. So for me, I lead through human design. I teach people how to live using human design, right? That's what this whole channel is about. It's me guiding you through human design. Gene Keys, right? We're doing that. I started off as a life coach. I'm a certified somatic life coach. So I guide through that as well, right? I have a defined sacral center. I'm a manifesting generator. Sexuality is governed by the sacral center. I will, at the end of this year, be a certified sex coach, right? These are the areas, these are my passions that I apply my, it's crapping out. These are the areas that I apply my gate 7 of leadership to. This is how I lead by example. This is what I teach people, what I guide people to do by example. Okay? So when you have your, what you're here to do, what areas do you want to apply this to? What are your passions? What are your hobbies? What are things that you love? Now, some places that you can look to figure this out are obviously that's a good marker. Your centers. You can look, I really want you to be able to see everything that I'm writing. You can look at your defined centers, or even your undefined centers. I have videos on both defined and undefined centers. You can use that to help you discover what niche do I want to apply this to? What is my zone of genius, right? So you can look at defined centers. You can also look at your natal chart, right? My unconscious Mars, your vocation is your unconscious Mars gate. My unconscious Mars gate is in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of friendship, right? The house of relationships, of the collective, right? So one of my programs, the program I'm currently running, Ready for Love, that's all about cultivating relationships. Me guiding through example, right? Because this program is all about how I learned to use the Venus sequence of gene keys to improve my relationships. So again, leading by example in an area this is being applied to, right? So this is application. What do you want to apply it to? That's why I think a lot of you are getting caught up. Like, how do I use this to build a business? This is not the business. This is the application of the business. The business is you. The business is your passions, your hobbies, the things that interest you, right? That's the business. This is just applying it. This is what you're doing, right? This is the action, okay? So after we have your vocation, we have the pathway, which brings us to your culture. Your culture is who you are here to serve. So this action here, who is receiving that action, right? And that challenge pathway that we were talking about in the previous video, which if you haven't watched it, you probably should watch. This is that pathway. This is that challenge. It's balancing these two energies. Now that I know what I'm here to do, how do I balance that with who I need to help? Who are the people that are going to benefit the most from this gift that I have, right? Let me check my notes. So, my culture is gate 18, right? Gate 18 is in the spleen, which means there's a fear attached to it. The fear for gate 18 is the fear of not being perfect, right? It's kind of this perfectionism energy, yeah? So, the people that I am here to help are the people who are struggling with the shadow of this gate, which is judgment. Shadow of gate 18 is judgment. So I want to break something down here. This is probably gonna be a very long video. I should have said that at the beginning. We have heard, I'm sure we've all heard, opposites attract, right? I'm a firm believer in this because I believe the people that are out of alignment, the people who are in the shadow frequency, are going to be attracted to people who are in the gift frequency, who are in the city frequency, right? Because if we both have the same culture, we both have that gate 18, and you're in the shadow of judgment, and I am in the city, or even if I'm in the gift, let's say I'm in the gift of integrity, and you're in the shadow of judgment, if you see me working in alignment, you're gonna see something in me, and you're gonna see it in yourself, and be like, oh, wait, I could do that, but I don't know how to get there, right? So you're going to be attracted to me, to what I'm doing, because you sense that you could do that too, but you don't know how to get there. You haven't unlocked this gift yet, but you see that I have. So you're going to be attracted to the things that I do because you're thinking in your head, if I follow her, I will learn how to get to where she is because she's clearly figured it out. So we attract the people who are in the shadow of the gifts that we have unlocked. Because when they see it, they're like, yes, that's who I need. That's who's going to help me. And then we help them, right? Through this vocation. Yes, okay. So, our culture, who we're here to help, are the people who are dealing with the shadows that we have overcome. Because again, if I have already dealt with this shadow of judgment, if I have already accepted and learned and embraced this shadow and moved to the higher frequencies of integrity, of perfection, if I am living in those higher frequencies, I am uniquely equipped to teach someone who is in this shadow how to move up the ladder, because I've walked those steps before. And you can see that I have walked those steps before because I'm guiding by example. I am showing you that I have been here. And I'm showing you that I'm not special. You can get here too, because you're meant to get here, right? So you attract the people who are in the places where you have been. So the people who are constantly judging themselves, the people who feel like they are never good enough, the people who look out into the world, look out into their life, and they blame themselves for everything that's wrong. Those are the people who are going to be attracted to me, because that is the person that I was. Those are the struggles that I had. Still do. I still kind of fall into the shadow, right? But when those people see me, they're going to be like, wow, she's so in integrity. She's so confident, right? She knows what she's talking about. She's doing this, and even when she makes a mistake, she keeps going, right? I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that. Boom. That's my culture. Them's my people, right? So that is culture. Now, with this, you don't really need to do anything. This is more of a very passive process, but you could if you wanted to, right? If I wanted to, I could, create an offer, or I could create videos around this culture, because these are the people who are going to be the most attractive to me, because these are the things that I personally have overcome. But just moving through these frequencies, from judgment to integrity to perfection, are going to attract those people to me without me having to do anything specific, right? Okay, cool. I hope that made sense. I'm gonna have to push this up so you can see the rest of the board. All right, there we go, perfect. So now that we have talked about our vocation, right? What we're here to do, we've attracted our people who we're here to help. Now we're going up to who we are here to be. This is the brand, your brand, who you are here to be, right? And we have this pathway. Again, we're moving through the journey. This is that breakthrough, right? These are the unconscious patterns that we're becoming aware of that are keeping us stuck, right? So, for me, my brand is in gate 59. Gate 59 is the gate of sexuality, but it's also the gate of intimacy. It's the gate of creating bonds, creating connection. And not only creating connection, me with another person, but also connecting other people to each other, right? So the shadow of gate 59 is dishonesty, right? So the unconscious patterns, the things that held me back from being who I am truly meant to be, is dishonesty. Me not being honest with myself, me not being honest with the things that I feel, the things that I want to create, the things that I want to do. That is going to hold me back. But it's also going to keep my people from connecting with me, right? Because the energy behind it is going to be dishonest. You don't want to work with somebody who's dishonest. That doesn't make no damn sense, right? So if I'm not being honest, if I'm not being intimate, which is the gift, if I'm not being transparent, which is the city, my people are not going to resonate with me. And if my people don't resonate with me, I can't do what I'm here to do, because a guide can't guide without people to guide. Do you see how this, are you seeing it, right? If you're not aware of what's keeping you, if you're not aware of these unconscious patterns that are keeping you stuck, you can't resonate with your people. If your people can't resonate with you, you're not going to be able to do what it is that you're here to do, because there's no people, right? See, yeah? This is what I mean about Gene Keys being a journey. Pearl sequence in itself is a journey. So, when I am being intimate, when I am being transparent about and if you go to videos on my channel, in most of them, I'm talking about my experiences. In most of them, I'm talking about the struggles that I have had. That's me being intimate. That's me being transparent about the things that I have learned, the things I have experienced, the things that I have done, right? Because that's who I am. That's who I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be very transparent about the things that I've experienced. I'm meant to be very intimate about how those experiences have shaped my reality, have shaped the way I view the world. Because that is what my people want from me. That is who I am meant to be. That is what resonates with them. If I try to make content like someone else, right? If I, shift and change up my channel to make it more professional or make it more, very up, like this, my people can be like, what the hell is this? Where, ooh, girl, no, wait, no, pause, click, no. They're gonna click off my videos because that's not who I'm meant to be. I'm being dishonest, right? This is the breakthrough. When you finally get to the place where you're being who you're meant to be, the floodgates, I'm telling you, will open. So now we see something very interesting. From who you are meant to be, this connection here is back to the vocation. This is the stability. This, being who you are meant to be and what you are meant to do, this is that anchoring in. You've come from here to here to here, and now you're back again. So now it's anchoring in all of the lessons. All of the lessons are being anchored in this area so that you can come back here and keep doing what you're meant to do. Keep helping their people. Keep being who you are. And again, it's a cycle. It's a journey. These pathways are important, right? Now there's one other element of the pearl sequence, which is the pearl, right? Your pearl, let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Honesty, yeah, okay. Okay, no, I'm on track. Okay, God, this is almost 30 minutes long. Okay, so the last part of the pearl sequence is the pearl. This is your point of magnetism. And there's something I wanna, I'm gonna tie it all together now. This is your point of magnetism. What the fuck does that mean? Right? When I first started learning Gene Keys, right? And I was like, point of magnetism, what is that? Right? I'm gonna explain it and then I'm gonna tie it all together. Your point of magnetism casts a wide net. Anyone who has, studied marketing, especially social media marketing, they'll tell you to cast a wide net. That means creating content or whatever it is that you're doing that will appeal to the largest amount of people possible. Because especially if you're wanting to build an audience, you just want to get people to your content, right? You want to cast a wide net. That's what your point of magnetism does. It casts a wide net. It brings in a lot of different people, right? So the reason why it is important to not only focus on your pearl is because when you cast a wide net, you might not be, okay, how do I say this? Casting a wide net is good for numbers, but it's not the numbers that necessarily correlate to, what's the word I'm looking for? All the people that get caught in the net, they might not be your people. That's what I'm trying to say. So even though you've cast this wide net and you've got all these different people coming to your content, most of those people may not be your people. So let's say you cast a wide net, right? That's what your pearl does. And you bring in 1,000 people, right? So from those 1,000 people, some of them are not gonna like what you do. They're not gonna vibe with what you do. So that number will then dwindle down to 700, right? Some of those people might not be in your culture. They might not be vibing with whatever it is that you're teaching. It might not appeal to them. So that number might go down to, let's say, 400, Out of those 400 people, not all of them will like who you are, right? So then the number goes down to 300. Not 300, 100. But these 100 people are your people. They love what you do. They are they're your people. They want to learn what you have learned. They love who you are. So those 100 people are going to stick around for every part of this cycle because they came in through the net. They came in from the net, but they stayed for you. They stayed for what you do. They stayed for what you teach. They stayed for who you are, right? They stayed because they are who you are here to help. Those 100 people. Out of those 1,000 people that came in from this net, 100 people stayed. Those are your people. This is why you can't just focus on the pearl, because the pearl is just the net. If you don't know what you're here to do, if you don't know who you're here to help, if you don't know who you are, it doesn't matter how many people come into this net. They can't stay because these parts aren't in place. This is the filtering system for the people that come in here. So if you're only focused on this, you're going to bring in all different types of people that may or may not resonate with who you are actually here to be of service to. So this is why we didn't start with the pearl. Okay? Now, we can actually talk about the pearl. So my pearl is in gate 48. Gate 48 is the gate of inner depth. So what my wide net is the fact that I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas, right? Emotional regulation, inner child healing, somatic practices, human design, gene keys, sexuality, femininity, relationships. I have a lot of knowledge, and that brings in a lot of different people. I have 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. Out of those 2,500 subscribers, maybe 100 have worked with me in a one-on-one capacity. Now, that's not to say that most of my subscribers are not my people, because you're here for a reason. You stayed for a reason. You subscribed for a reason. But one of these is not resonating. One or multiple of them are not resonating with parts of my sequence. And that is okay. That is perfectly fine, right? But the people that do resonate with all three of these are the people who are going to end up working with me in some form. Because for everyone who is attracted to each one of these, they're going to feel that pull to work with me. Because as I stay in these gifts, as I stay in these frequencies, it's only going to strengthen this magnetism that I have for and to my people. So when I am giving my wisdom, when I am showcasing how resourceful I am, how knowledgeable I am, when I am not in the shadow of inadequacy, when I'm not stuck in this, imposter syndrome feeling, when I'm actually in my gift of resourcefulness and my city of wisdom, I'm going to attract oodles of people. Some of them will stay. Some of them will not. Some will be turned off by what I do. Some of them will be turned off by what I've experienced. Some of them will be turned off by who I am in general. But my people will stay. Right? This is the journey of your pearl sequence. So when it comes to building a business, when it comes to making money, in terms of gene keys, in terms of this information, it all has to work together. You cannot just look at one element and apply that one element and be like, okay, well, I did this one thing. You can do that with human design. With gene keys, it's collective, right? These all work together, and they're all connected to this pearl. So it's like everything is going, it's like everything everywhere all at once, right? So there is no disconnection in this cycle. There is nowhere where you can say, this is independent, or this is independent, or this is independent. No, it's not. You need all of these to truly generate prosperity, to truly generate the business that you want and you desire. Requires you to go through the journey, to complete the entire sequence, right? So, is that all I wanted to say? I think that's all I wanted to say. But yes, so this is me breaking down the pearl sequence. I highly, highly recommend that you check out my Understanding Gene Keys video if you have not already. Leave your questions down below, and I will see you in the next video.